What's up, YouTube? So we're back with another video. In this video, we're just going to tell you how it was for us to actually be at a Ethiopian church for the first time ever in our lives. First thing first, we did a little research. We went to the first Ethiopian church that was closer to our residence. It was a little
new. It was a new experience.
We had anxiety a little bit. So we enter. We had people looking at us. We had people watching us and wondering who we were. Because, of course, we were new to this very small church.
Some people thought we were part of the church already. They thought we were from another church or something because, we have the necklaces and we wore all white. So we did look like we were, holy people. So we weren't too out of place.
Before we even came there, we knew to wear white because we actually have a lot of Ethiopian people or friends and stuff that we know from Ethiopia who told us, hey, wear white. Because we asked them, hey, we want to go to an Ethiopian church. What should we wear? Like, we know people online and stuff.
Yeah, they said as long as we wear white, we're good. But, there's more to it than that.
Yeah, so they were like, just wear white and go be blessed. So we went there. We talked to some people. We introduced ourselves. We told them that we were new. We're not actually a Habasha, but we're very interested in learning the
culture,
language, religion, which is a big one.
Yeah.
And they accepted us with open arms.
Like we were part of the family already. Like we were like it was a family reunion. Like they haven't seen us in 5 or 6. It's like they haven't seen us their whole lives, but they know us. It felt like that.
And unfortunately for us, though, we came kind of late, which was kind of good because actually they have a male and female side. So I can't promise you that we would have made the right decision when we first came to even be on the male side.
I would have.
Right. But, we probably wouldn't have known that there was a difference because we would have just sat down anywhere. But yeah, they have the beginning of the service, which is a very long thing that they speak in.
Yeah, it's like 3 to 4 hours long, and they go through the whole liturgy
in Geese, and they go through the entire thing. So it's kind of good that we didn't come early on our first day, but since we did come late, we were able to look at some of the paintings, and then we were able to talk to some of the people after service, and even have some of the food that they made, which was very good.
Oh man, that was delicious. It's better than the restaurants because it's homemade and it's home cooked and it's fresh and it's warm. It's not just heated up in a microwave or kept in some freezer, some dungeon somewhere. It's like it's freshly made, right, ready for your mouth, And we actually ate from the deacons' table, which we didn't even know at first. Like we were sitting with the deacons, we were eating with the deacons, and some of them deacons they're from anywhere between like 15 to like 30 plus, and like it was so amazing that they welcomed us to their table. And a lot of people weren't looking at us funny. They just saw us as newcomers, treated us as guests, and like it didn't feel like we were alien.
Right. And I would say that they gave us extra special attention. They made us feel extra special, that everyone had so much love to them, and they showed us that love. And it was a experience that I've never felt in my entire life. It's a community that I'm now a part of that I'm so glad to be a part of. I feel so lucky, I'm glad I'm able to experience this within this lifetime. Otherwise, I would have never known what I was missing out on. So once we got there, we were speaking with people, they were introducing themselves, and we were able to learn even more about the religion on day one. We was able to learn even more about just the history of the church on day one. So it was a very nice experience, and we met the monk, we met the
deacons, we met pretty much all the deacons.
We met the priests, and we even met some of the Ethiopian girls who was there.
And you would think with him being in charge of the church, he wouldn't be so humble, but he was. And he was like an everyday normal guy. If it weren't for the attire he was wearing and the hat, you wouldn't have known that he was in charge of the church. You wouldn't have known who he was or what his position was, because he treated himself as if he was a newcomer too. He treated us as if we were on the same level as him, as, everybody respected everybody as equals under God's watchful eye, under God's love. And we've never experienced that before.
Like I said, they made us feel at home. It felt like a little Eden. It felt like we were at a village, a small, humble village where everyone was just there for each other. It feels like a huge, big family. You can get that vibe right away. The vibe was very welcoming and warm and just holy. It's a place like no other. Okay.
And it really matched our personalities. Like when we got there, like I know everybody's experiences with, you know, various religions or various cultures is different, but this really meshes well with who we are. And it really strikes within our souls, and it strikes a chord with our hearts. Like we just know it. Like I can feel it. Like I can feel that these people welcome us. But not just that. This magnetism of this culture, the magnetism of the religion, the magnetism of faith, it just pulls us in because it's not only is it so welcoming and like family, but also because it's a new experience, and it's pure. And it's pure, and it's almost immune to corruption.
Okay, so understand this, right? So what my brother is saying is a place like this is meant for, you know, guys like my brother and I. It's very welcoming to people like us, and we feel at home. But of course, everyone is going to have their own experiences, and not everyone is like us. Okay, so understand this. There's places for everyone. I truly believe that. Now, if you're not used to everyone being so friendly, giving you hugs, if you're not used to everyone trying to be holy and trying to do the right thing,
and you also have to do the right thing too. You also have to hold yourself.
You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to be respectful. You have to
have a certain humbleness about you.
Exactly. And you can't be flashy. You know, everyone wear that Nutellers, which is basically the white robe, like cloth that they wear around themselves because they want to cover up in God's house. They want to cover up and make sure that they're not being flashy. They're not trying to show off. If you're not used to that, then obviously this wouldn't be the place for you. But if you're a very humble person, if you're a person who puts your ego aside in the sake for God, in the sake of just being righteous and doing the right thing, then this would be a place for you. You have rules that you have to follow, point blank, period. Especially in a place like this that is very holy and sacred to people, that people hold a place like this close to their hearts. And now it's not like one of those Baptist churches where you can just go and act a fool and you could just allow the Holy Spirit to take over you and you just yelling and screaming. It's not one of those places. It's not one of those places where you just go for fun and they are incorporating hip hop music within the gospel music. It's not like one of those places. No, not at all. This place, this church, is more specifically about being serious about God.
Yeah, there's no jokes. There's no playing. You stand up when certain words are said, when God's name is pronounced, when God's name is mentioned, you stand in respect. There's even canes for it. There's canes you use, man and woman. There's canes that you can use to stand up and respect the God. And there's times when you prostrate yourself. You would bow.
As every time they mention God, you would basically bow. So church starts at 6 a.m., and from 6 a.m. to about 10, you're pretty much standing up most of the time. So we actually have canes that we have to hold and lean on in order to just like relax some of our muscles so we won't be so tired, because it's just that serious. They take God seriously. This is not any joking matter. We have to show the utmost respect for where we're at, for God, for other people. And those things may not sound like a good thing to you. They may not even sound like a fun thing to you. It may not sound like something that you want to do. But this is our experience. And because it meshes so well with our personalities, these are things that we actually find enjoyable.
Exactly. There's times when you're more serious during the liturgies and during the services and all that fancy stuff. But then there's times where you're a little more let loose and you can kind of feel like you're at home. Like maybe you're in your dining room area of your grandmother's house. Something like that. Where you're not just always on edge, but you're comfortable, but you're respectful at the same time. That's what it's like. And it's like that throughout the whole day after service. And of course, there's children and, they're running around and playing. But we also know that, we're adults. And even if we're new, we do have a responsibility to be over to those kids and to behave ourselves in a way that'll separate us from the children.
Yeah, 100%. And I will argue that, yes, after service, it's way more relaxed. It's laid back. Everyone is talking to each other. The kids are running around. A lot of times they're not really supposed to after they take the, what is it called?
Communion.
The communion. Yeah, after they take the communion, they're not really supposed to be running around. I found that out not too long ago. But it's very relaxed, and they even have like in between service, like right after the communion, they have class. And, you know, we met a cool dude. He teaches Sunday class. He teaches Bible study. There's a lot of kids in there and a few teenagers who are there to learn. And they come there not just because their parents forced them to, but it's because they actually enjoy being there. There's a lot of people who grew up there, right? There's a lot of young kids, young adults who grew up there, and they still go there to this day. And I will honestly say that me personally, I would rather choose church every Sunday over clubbing, over going out drinking and partying, doing weird crap that the Western society tells you that you should do. And that basically sums up what we mean when we say that a place like this basically meshes with our personalities.
Yeah.
I set aside my Sunday. I put everything aside for church because I love it just that much.
Even our work schedules, find a way to make that work within our work schedules. That and weekday class where we have more Bible study. It's important. It's important to us. It's important to me. It's important to my brother. It's important to everybody involved that it shapes your character more so who you are. Because out in this world, especially in America, you can lose yourself. But this right here, I feel like this culture, this scenario, this church helps me become more of who I am and not lose myself to this world. Even if I don't want to participate, I still would be. You still would become of this world and not just in it if you let it beat you down, if you let it make you weary. And this church gave me a spark of hope, and it reminded me of my younger self, how I had more hope in this world. And even if I wasn't participating in the badness, I eventually lost that hope. But this church gave me more hope. These people reminded me there's more out there. There's real experiences to have, and there's real love from God to experience. And I'll never forget it, and I will always cherish it.
Yeah, I would say that for both of us, Sunday is a highlight of our week. And we also attend Bible study during the middle of the week. Usually it's supposed to be on Wednesdays, but it's sometimes on Thursdays. And we enjoy that too. Every time we get an opportunity to come to the church to interact and to be a part of service or anything that they have going on, we're trying our best to show up for that. Make sure you hit the sub button and notification bell. This is everything Habasha, everything Ethiopia. We're showing you our journey, learning the language in Ethiopia, learning the culture, learning the religion,
Meeting the people.
and eating the food.
So we'll see you in the next video. Ciao.
Ciao.